Here we
We
go.
go.
It's like our school coming up.
Shh. Well, after waiting and waiting and waiting, we're finally here. This is, I think it still is, the WDW Fan Zone show. The reason I said is because it took a long time for the recording to start. But we're here. And if you're listening to us, we hope you enjoy this show. If you're not, and you're watching us on YouTube, we hope you enjoy it there as well. I am Stuart. I'm joined by Kurt, Jess, John, Darlene, and Lottie. We've got a full house
Hello.
tonight. I think it's the first time we've had a full house in a long time. And we're
Mhm.
going to get into it right now with the latest news. Take it away, Jess.
Hey there, folks. Here's the news for the week. All right, if you're planning on seeing the Country Bear Jamboree show one more time before it closes, you have one more chance. Tomorrow, Friday, January 26th, is the last day you can see the show in its current state before it will be upgraded and opening this summer. On Monday, January 29th, the Magic Kingdom will be closing at 4:30 p.m. for the cast member service celebration, where Disney closes the park early to allow for a cast member party celebrating decade-plus milestones for employees. Customers with a qualifying Spectrum TV Select package are now able to access Disney Plus Basic for free. This does not replace any subscription you already have, but it is an additional subscription. To check your eligibility, sign into your Spectrum account and view your plan under the services section. If you're eligible, you'll see a Disney Plus icon with the option to activate. As you may know, there are 4 pet-friendly hotels at Walt Disney World. They are the Yacht Club, Art of Animation, Port Orleans Riverside, and Fort Wilderness Cabins. Previously, there was transportation available at just Port Orleans and Art of Animation for $25 round trip to the doggy daycare Best Friend Pet Hotel. It is now available for all 4 pet-friendly hotels. Be sure to check the Pet Hotel's website for pickup and drop-off times. And the new DVC Fort Wilderness Cabins will open on July 1st. Yay! All right, so here are the park hours. We have Friday, Saturday, 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. at Magic Kingdom. Sunday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday, like I said before, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Tuesday, 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. Wednesday, 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. And Thursday, February 1st, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Epcot is every day, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Disney's Hollywood Studios, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday, 8:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Animal Kingdom is Friday through Sunday, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And Thursday, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Typhoon Lagoon is closed for refurbishment. Blizzard Beach is 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. all week. Boardwalk, 6:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. And Disney Springs, 10 a.m. to 11 p.m., except on Fridays and Saturdays, it is open until 11:30 p.m. And for the weather, we are in the 80s with partly sunny skies early this weekend. And then there's some rain coming through Saturday night to Sunday morning, which also will bring cooler temperatures early next week into the low to mid 60s. And that is all I have for today.
Great. Thank you so much, Jess. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.
All right. See
Everybody
you
else,
real
hang in
soon.
there.
Hang
Hi,
in.
Jess.
Bye-bye.
All right. So tonight's topic, I figured we'd go around the world and help people out who are trying to figure out like what would be the best resort for their needs, whether it's a family, a solo trip, group trip. I forget what else I had on there, but whatever it was. I did the show notes and I don't remember. But anyway, we're gonna go through all the different scenarios and try to help you guys out. Let's start at the budget resorts or the value resorts. And let's start out. We'll start out with solo trips. Now, of all the budget resorts, what do you think would fit a young adult best on a solo trip?
Well, it depends on what that young adult would like. If he's into music, I would stay at music. Um, if he's into the animation bit, I would stay at Disney Art of Animation.
I don't know if I'd be sending a single person to Art of Animation. Aren't those a little bit bigger suite?
Yeah, I don't think I would do that either.
It depends on if they're into art, though.
See,
not
here's my thought. They
like-
can go and visit that resort, and if I'm going solo, that's a lot of money for it's all on me. So if I'm doing a solo trip, I want the cheapest room possible.
There's the little
Which
mermaid
is-
rooms though.
Yeah, there are the single rooms like Lottie.
Are
said.
there
the little
single
mermaid
rooms?
Yeah.
they're not- yeah.
Okay, how's the price compared to that with sport, music, and movies? All stars.
It's higher.
Aren't they higher?
It is
So,
higher.
and that's my thought. If I'm going solo, I think I want the budget, bare bone budget.
It also depends on what you're looking to do with your trip. I would think that younger solo travelers are likely going to be in the parks a lot. So I think that would fit for a lot of them. There's the possibility that there are some younger solo travelers that, are looking to kick back or they're, a little quieter in nature. So it's certainly a consideration.
I don't think it matters except for the Art of Animation. I would take that out of the picture for young solo travel, because you're not going to be in the resort that much. So,
Right.
I kind of agree with Kurt there. You don't want to spend that much money if your resort room is just a place to lay your head down to go to sleep. And I think with a younger adult, the likelihood is that's probably what it's going to be. They're not going to be there that much.
Well, and you didn't talk about Pop Century, so there's
No,
certainly another
if you're looking
option.
for Pop Century, if you're looking for food,
Yeah.
if that's your number one choice of a resort, in the value resorts, yeah, that would be my pick, no matter what age.
Yeah, and I think Pop Century's a little bit easier to get in and out, and you're maybe a little closer
maybe.
to some of the other parks. When you're back
Yeah.
there at the All Stars, you're kind of tucked away, and depending on which one you're in, you're way back there.
How about
Yeah, I
someone who's an older solo person? Somebody who maybe has lost a spouse or been through a separation or divorce from their previous loved one.
And a value resort.
Someone who's
we're
never
still
been married
talking?
and just an older person who loves Disney
In a value resort?
in a value resort.
I think-
For them, I would probably push towards Pop Century, because then it's the easy access to the two parks with the Skyway.
I
See,
can
that's the same thing for Art of Animation. I think that's a great stay for a single person, whether they're young or old. In the Little Mermaid rooms, it's on the far end of Pop Century, so you got to walk a little bit to get to the main building. But I mean the price, it's more than the value, but it's still less than the moderate resort. I think that's a great stay for a single traveler.
Mm-hmm.
If money's no object, I would think somebody who is a little bit older would probably prefer something like that, because you're not going to be in the parks as much in all likelihood, because I know how it is when you get to be my age, you get tired and you have to take your day, your nap during the day.
Not only that, though, but if you get to your age, you're on a very tight budget.
Yes.
And my sister's talked to me about that, about how she's got to be very careful with how she spends her money to make sure she's spending it. Again, if I'm going to do a solo trip, do I necessarily need, if I'm going to be still going out to the parks more? The other key thing with all of that is, do I need the transportation, or did I drive there? Am I already living in Florida?
And that's one of the things we've kind of skirted around a little bit, are some of the factors that are going to make a difference besides whether you're solo or group or family. And that is, things like your budget, transportation, you mentioned, dining, amenities and other activities that are there, the proximity to parks or to other parts of Walt Disney World or resort you want to visit. So you want to be, you want to do some other kind of resort hopping, whatever, and you don't have as many of those options in the values.
Mhm.
But there are a lot of factors and discounts. So you talked about how the different resorts have different price points, but sometimes the discounts are different and the availability is different. So there are a lot of factors that are going to go into making the choice, irrespective of who you are and whether you're going with others.
Yeah, but you know what? It's like I've never done a solo trip at Disney, so it's hard for me to think about what someone who's making a solo trip to Disney would be thinking about, would be their priorities. And whether you're young or old, it doesn't matter. I think everybody's going to have their own set of priorities. But in terms of, and I don't want anybody to answer this yet, because when we get done with all the groups in the Valley Resorts, I'll ask for the answer. But we each have our own favorite resorts in the value, the deluxe and the moderate. And we'll give those later on. We'll give our reasons why. And I think that's something that if someone's been to Disney before, would definitely have some sort of impression of what they have been through before Disney, good, bad, or otherwise probably good, and what they're looking forward to the next time they go.
I just randomly popped in May 5th through May 9th to pull up what resort prices would be. All-Star Movies, $165, Pop Century, $177.
And these are based on double occupancy, right?
Yeah, two people. Just two people. Which, even if I put in one person, it'd be the same price.
Correct.
Right.
Mhm.
Pop Century, again, $177, so about $12 more. Art of Animation hops up to $224.
For which resort in art, or which part of the resort?
It just says Art of Animation. I didn't get that deep
And does
into
it say what room
It's
type?
as low as
Okay.
$224.
Okay.
And then you
So-
got Port Orleans that's starting at $240, which is your moderate resort going up.
So how about, I'm going to start combining things, single parent with a young child or children, friends only, no kids, or just an adult couple going to a value resort. What would you say would work best for each one, or a large group even, a family reunion? Now, if it's a family reunion, I
Talk to
would want to
Lonnie
be in a
about family
resort where the family
reunions.
reunion is not.
She's the one who can
We
answer
just
that
did
question very well.
Yeah.
We
I don't-
just
I
did
don't-
And
that.
I can answer what we did with ours. Lottie, go ahead.
We did Art of Animation, the Lion King suites, and just put 6 people in every room.
Yeah, I would say for a large family reunion, that Art of Animation would be it, because of the
Now
space.
it sleeps 6, $462 a night.
Not comfortably, but it does sleep 6.
There was the Little Mermaid room that starts at $224.
Now,
That sleeps 4.
Mhm.
if it's a friends trip and it's just 2 friends, what value resort do you think they'd be most comfortable in? Young, if it's a young couple or an older couple?
Pop.
Pop.
Yeah, I'd say
Pop.
Pop for both. Yeah.
Now, Pop, that second bed, there's 2 queen-size bed. One's a regular bed. The other one's the Murphy bed that comes down off the wall over the top of the table. But there are 2 queen-size bed, which is much better than what they were when they first opened.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my uncle, aunt, and the 2 the husband, the daughter, and the son-in-law, and the 2 kids, they all stayed at Pop along with her mom and stepdad. And they liked it because the kids liked the pools there.
Yeah, that's
And we
another
stayed-
consideration, the pools.
Yeah, we stayed at DVC because I had DVC.
Yeah. Let's see, we did solo, we did friends, we did family and value. How about if it's just like a family of 4? Well, if it's a family of 5, it's got to be the Art of Animation, because they don't have the space in and any of
Yeah,
the
you can't fit
other
anything
value
out.
resorts. But if it,
Aren't there family suites in All-Star Music?
I'm not aware of any, unless they added those on.
They
They-
might have.
Oh,
They've
well,
been
I
doing
checked
a lot
that.
of remodeling.
Yeah, I
It's
don't
been
remember
a
them
couple
being
of
elementary
years.
for little.
It's been a couple of years, but they remodeled some of the is it movies or music? One of the ones that starts with M now has family suites available.
I will look at movies right now because it will come up. All-Star Music is not coming up for some reason right now. They all just sleep 4, according to what this is showing.
Now, if you have a family of 4 and it's 2 young boys, let's say preschool, I wouldn't. First of all, I wouldn't recommend value resorts for anybody with children that are, past elementary school and maybe not even to the top grade in elementary school.
Especially if you have
Those
2
small
sons that
pads.
are 6 feet tall and end up kicking each other on a queen-size bed all night long.
Yeah, but for preschoolers, I would recommend, if it's 2 boys, All-Star Sports. I think they would have a little more fun there, but Pop Century is still good.
My kids were both in band, so they actually preferred
Yeah.
All-Star Music in that point.
You can't go wrong with any of them.
Yeah.
Lottie's answer was All-Star
Yeah.
Music. That's
Yeah.
where they have the
Yeah,
families.
I just
You got it?
I-
Okay.
I
Yeah, I
just
couldn't
looked
pull it
it
up.
And if it's 2 girls, I don't
Yep.
think it matters. If it's a boy and a girl, I don't think it matters. But if you have more than 3 kids, it's like, does All-Star Music have suites now?
They have up to 6 people.
Okay. So you've
Okay,
got
what's
2
the price
choices.
on that one?
And I guess that would depend on what your budget is.
Well, what date had you looked at before there, Kurt?
Well, I can't pull it up. It's 5/5 through 5/9. It's showing that it's not available.
Oh, that's because it's probably already booked.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well, right.
Well,
Okay.
Yeah,
But
those
just what
rooms
general
book fast.
time of year?
Those
Right.
rooms book fast. I've never been able to get one.
Really?
I've always end up at Art of Animation. Actually, our last 3 visits actually were at Art of Animation.
Gotcha.
Right now, for like anything in the near future, they're giving you Boulder Ridge, Beach Club, and Boardwalk
For what, a family of 5?
for a family of 5. And I
No.
picked like 10, 8, and 6, and 2 adults. So
Now, if someone came up to you off the street, now we can answer this because I think we've pretty much done the value resorts. If someone came up to you on the street and said, I'm going to Disney, I want to stay at a value resort, what would be your preference? Not necessarily what would fit them best, but what would be your preference to stay at a value resort?
It depends on which parks they really want to go to. I mean, if they want to spend all their time in the Magic Kingdom, no matter what
Kurt,
park you stay in.
right now you're giving right now it's just what you would want to
So,
do.
what's my favorite? My favorite value resort is what you're saying.
Yeah, basically.
In other words, I prefer Pop Century.
Okay, John.
The only value I've ever done is Pop Century, but I would like to try Art of Animation. Oh, and $379, Lottie, is what I can see
So it is
in
less expensive.
September for a family suite.
Yeah, it's less than Art of Animation.
Where would you stay?
I would probably say All-Star Movies.
Yeah, we've stayed at All-Star Movies and All-Star Music and Pop. Lottie, how about yourself? But it's not where I would.
Well, she
Prefer to-
stated. I know where she stays.
I mean, I'm right now. I'm stuck. I don't have another choice other than Art of Animation because of the size of my family. And
Well, you could do
and I
All-Star
really-
Music.
Just leave Kyle at home.
I've not been able to get All-Star Music.
Yeah.
I haven't stayed at All-Star Music with the family. I've stayed there alone, but I've not stayed there with the family. But frankly, I am hoping that they do something more with families at the value resorts because although I love it, I don't want to stay at Art of Animation again. It's been every trip at Art of Animation. I don't have
Yeah, I don't
another
blame you.
choice.
I think of the 3 All-Stars, music was the least popular, and I
Mhm.
think
I think
that's
you're
why
right.
they built those family suites.
I
Mm,
think you're probably right. Even though I mentioned the ones I stayed at, I haven't stayed at Art of Animation. So if I had to pick one, that's probably what I would pick. That where I'd want to stay. But I love Pop Century.
So to me, Pop Century is worth the extra $12 a night for the simple fact you don't, especially if you need that transportation, you
Mhm.
don't have to crawl onto that crowded bus. You can just take
yeah,
the Skyway,
Skyliner.
and the line's not
Mhm.
that long.
Yeah.
And
Right.
is it any further from Art of Animation to the Skyliner than it is from Pop?
It's right in the middle of
Right in
Hourglass Lake.
between the two, in the
Yep.
middle of Hourglass Lake, isn't it?
Hourglass
Correct.
Lake. Yep.
Yeah.
Directly in the middle.
All right. Let's move over to the moderate resorts, and let's start with you have a family reunion.
How many? So we're going a huge family now.
Yeah. Let's say between 20 and 40.
Well,
Yee. You call Mouse Fan Travel. That's true.
Yeah,
You let them figure it out for you. You're right.
exactly.
If I'm not going with a huge family of myself, so that I could actually fit, again, if we're like all in different resorts, I still would stick with for the moderate resort. I probably would go Caribbean Beach Club, because then you got the mass. Hey, let's pile as many people as we can at each of these Skyliners so we can all go together. Because you're not going to fit that many people onto a bus.
You'll have to have your own bus.
You would have to have your own bus.
Where are we categorizing Fort Wilderness Cabins?
That is a moderate resort.
Yeah,
moderate. Those that are still available are moderate resorts.
Yep.
I mean, so that's
Not 388.
According to the website, the moderates are Coronado Springs, Port Orleans French Quarter, Port Orleans Riverside, Caribbean Beach, and cabins at Fort Wilderness.
Okay. I mean, so that's an option.
Yeah, you know what? I love Caribbean Beach, but I think Fort Wilderness cabins would be it. That's what I would tell a large family group to go to, even if it's just a family. Sorry, Lottie, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to disagree.
Well, that's why he wanted you to go.
Right, that's why I wanted you to go.
I would disagree just because of the transportation from the bus stops and the main building to the cabins. If you got grandma with you, you need a golf cart for the cabins at Fort Wilderness. Not easy to get around that place.
Yeah.
And how much is a rental of a golf cart?
Right.
Now, if you have your own vehicle, can't you just drive right to the cabin? If you have your own vehicle?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. Just checking.
Mm-hmm. So, Lottie, where would you want your large family gathering to stay?
I'm gonna go with Riverside. It's a small resort. Everybody's gonna be pretty close together, no matter where they are on the resort. There is a boat to Disney Springs, great place for large family dinners.
Very true.
Yeah, we're gonna do
stop everywhere.
They do, but if you
take
the boat to Disney Springs, and then
take
you
the
just
boat
have
to
to
Disney Springs. It's the first stop. Straight there, straight back.
Yeah, and then if you make sure you tell your family which bus stop to go on, and you won't be so frustrated when you're ready to go back to your resort having to wait for multiple stops.
So are you the type of person who tell your family, we're all going to Epcot today, and then you go to Magic Kingdom?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I apologize. If you're at Riverside, you do have to stop over French Quarter first, and then it continues on. At least it was that way the last time we stayed there.
Well,
Darlene,
another
how about
option you
yourself?
have is Gran Destino Tower, which would be, if the rooms are available, you might be able to get your party closer together because you're in a hallway as compared to spread out to different buildings.
Mm-hmm.
Those rooms are going for about $356 a night. The other rooms are going $249 to $302.
Darlene, where would your large family gathering take place? Which moderate resort?
Most likely it would be at Port Orleans Riverside, because we all like Port Orleans Riverside.
Okay.
Now, the nice thing about Port Orleans Riverside is it's got that trundle bed underneath if you're out in the bayou. So you could actually
Mhm.
sleep that fifth kid. Or my kids would fight over who gets the bed and who gets the trundle bed, because you do have to be a little bit smaller.
Now, would any of
It's
your
tiny.
answers change for a family of 5 to 6?
Well, you would have to stay either at the, well, forget it, that's like $2,000. You would have to, if you got a family of 5, you'd have to stay over either at Port Orleans Riverside or at the cabins. Those are the only moderates that fit beyond the tower, which
Yeah, well,
the ones
Shorty
that sleep up to 6 are a little bit pricey.
Now, you know what my choice would be? If you're a
$924
young
a night.
couple or even an old couple, a couple period, young, old, otherwise, it doesn't matter. My choice for 2 people and 2 people only would be French Quarter.
Yes,
Port Orleans,
definitely.
it's quiet,
900
it's
rooms.
beautiful, and they've got the what are they called? The beignets.
Yes.
We do boozy beignets.
Now I was laughing because when Lottie was talking about staying over at Port Orleans, at first I thought she was staying with her huge family over at French Quarter, in which case, Lottie, you're taking up a quarter of all the resort because, like I said, they only have 900 rooms. So you got all your family there. Holy cow, that's taken up almost all the resort. That's like one bank of the resort right there.
Mhm.
Riverside, you can spread out a little bit.
Well, anybody else have difference of opinions on where they would? If it
Well-
was a couple, just a couple.
Well, if we've stayed at Port Orleans, Riverside and French Quarter. Yes, we do like the beignets at French Quarter. My daughter stayed there, but we prefer Riverside because you also have Yeehaw Bob, you have the Saskatchewan River, the pool is very nice.
The Saskatchewan,
Yeah, which
the
river
river is
that?
also at French Quarter.
Well, the Floatworks, Saskatchewan Floatworks.
The Float Works. Okay, the
Yeah,
restaurant.
Floatworks.
Mhm.
Okay.
John, where would you tell a couple to stay in a moderate resort?
A couple now.
Just a couple.
Yeah, I agree that the French Quarter is a good place to stay. It's got its own little ambiance. It's smaller, like you say, and it's got a nice vibe to it. So I we like to stay there, just the 2 of us sometimes when we're looking for a moderate.
Yeah. How about a small group of friends?
Mm.
Caribbean Beach.
So yeah,
Yeah, that was my
my
first thought too. Caribbean
always
Beach.
because because of the Three Bridges bar. No, that's at Coronado. Sorry. So I'm gonna go with Coronado because of the Three Bridges bar in the middle and the sangria flights. That's where you go with friends.
See, Coronado Springs, that I always think of that with like
Conventions.
that's like with work.
Yeah.
When people go to work, that's where the conventions are, is
Yep,
over at Coronado
absolutely.
Springs.
I love the architecture there, though. I love walking around in between the buildings.
And the kids climbing up to the top of the Mayan temple where they're not supposed to be.
Yeah, that
I
pool
think
is
that's the
great.
only resort I've never stepped foot in.
Really?
Yeah.
I agree.
Really?
I am with you. I don't think I've ever stepped onto that
Oh.
resort. It's kind of farther away. It's kind of like going to another resort that we'll talk about later. It's kind of far away from everything other than.
Well, you know what?
Woodford
It's
Beach.
actually very centrally located.
It
It's
is.
a straight shot to Epcot and Magic Kingdom. You go out the other direction to get to Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Animal
and it's
Kingdom?
very close to Disney Hollywood Studios.
You know, every time I drive to the parks, or when I say
go
the parks,
past
I'm
it.
talking about Magic Kingdom or Epcot, I pass it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the
think it's a great
direction you're
start.
coming in.
Mm-hmm. Yep. How about, well, we didn't mention a family of 4.
Mm. If it's a
That's gonna
family of 4
depend on
and
your
it's got little
preference.
girls, you got to do the princess rooms at Port Orleans Riverside.
What if you have two princes, not princesses?
French Quarter.
So
Alligator
I've got neighbors that were their little girls are little tomboys, and they love the pirate theme in rooms over at the Caribbean Beach.
You know what? We took our kids to French Quarter a couple of times when they were little. I have a boy and a girl. We're now adults, not kids anymore. But we've been to Port Orleans, and I think if we had to do it over again, well, they've rethemed it since my kids were little. I think I would pick Port Orleans. I'm sorry, not Port Orleans. Caribbean Beach.
Caribbean Beach.
So my cousins were down here, and there was two families, and they had rooms right next door to each other.
Bless you.
Pardon?
John sneezed. Sorry.
Bless you. They had two rooms next to each other, thanks to MEI and Mouse Fan Travel for booking their accommodations, and they had a fantastic time in the Caribbean Beach Resort. The boys loved it, and the little girl absolutely adored it.
Yeah. Do we mention solos yet for moderate resorts? I don't think we did. I think I would pick French Quarter for solo travelers.
What?
I think so.
One other place that might make sense depending on why you're there. So sometimes you're a solo traveler because you're going to a conference. And so certainly if the conference is going to be at Coronado Springs, either Coronado Springs in one of the different sections or the Gran Destino Tower.
Well, if you're going up for a conference, the likelihood is the company you're going with will have already made those arrangements at Coronado for you.
Yeah, but I just
But if you're going there, let's say you're going there for
choices.
let's say you're going there just for purely pleasure.
I'm just saying.
No, that's okay.
Well, I mean, that's one of the reasons why people are solo travelers. Another reason why people are solo travelers at Disney World is run Disney events. And so location makes a difference for that. How long is the bus going to take to get there in the morning or get you back? And how many stops does it have to make?
Or does this bus stop on, was it 52nd Street or is it 82nd Street? What?
Okay.
I might go ahead, John. Sorry.
I was just going to say real quickly, last race we went to, we were on a bus and we took off and we left Disney property because the bus driver had no idea where they were going. We had to turn around on 192 to come back.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
Must have been his first day.
You know what? If I'm a solo traveler, if I'm not there on business, I am not staying at Coronado Springs. I'm sorry. Just not going to do it. If I'm looking for relaxation, I'm going to French Quarter. If I'm looking for a little bit more of an atmosphere, I might go to Riverside.
See, and I think I might go to Riverside. It's a little bit more spread out. I love walking through the bayou. There's a lot to see. You could go fishing. There's a fishing hole right there.
Yeah.
I think I might stay at Riverside if I was going to be a solo trip on my own, just wanted to relax.
Yeah, like I said, it depends on what you're looking to do. If you're looking for more than just relaxing, I completely agree with you, Kurt.
I like Darlene said, you got Yeehaw Bob.
Yeah.
Get back and relax.
Yeah, that's worth it right there.
Anybody have any other place besides Riverside, French Quarter, and Coronado Springs, John? Any other places?
I like Caribbean Beach. I've stayed at Caribbean Beach a few times. The last time Kyle and I went together without the kids, we stayed at Caribbean Beach. It's got a nice bar. It's got great dining. The pools are halfway decent. I like the proximity to the Skyliner. It's a good stay.
You know what?
It is the central hub for the Skyliner when you get right down to it.
I can't disagree with you, but that's why we all have our own opinion. It's all our own preference, even if John's is wrong. No, I'm kidding, John.
Hey, sorry, 2019, John. I've been wrong.
I'm kidding, John. I just personally would not stay there. Like I said, that's one resort I've never been in, but I wouldn't stay there if I wasn't there on business. If I was there on business, of course I would stay there because you want to be close if you have a conference going on, you don't want to have to get on transportation to get to the conference. You want to be able to roll out of bed and be there.
So Coronado Springs, I've stayed there twice. Actually, my very first Disney trip was at Coronado Springs. I was with my uncle who was at a conference. And then years later, adult, I stayed at Coronado Springs. But if you don't want to see the conference stuff, you don't have to, because they do a very good job of separating conference activities from resort activities.
It's kind of
Unless
like
you're
Contemporary,
specifically
which
going
is,
to the conference.
Right, I was going to say that.
Yeah.
The Contemporary has a lot of conference rooms.
they're
They
all
do,
downstairs.
and you would
never
never
go down
know.
there.
Mm-hmm.
You would never know if you weren't there for the conference.
That's very
It's the
true.
same
That's
thing
how I
at
found it.
Coronado.
Yeah, I had no idea until I was there for a conference. Well, it wasn't really a conference, but it was in a conference setting. All right, let's move on to the deluxe resorts. Darlene, pick any group you want to start with.
Well, the best one I like to stay at is
No.
Group?
Pick a group, whether it's a solo.
Oh, for solo, I'll do solo because my friend
Okay.
just stayed there.
Okay.
And you're going to know which one she picked. Beach Club because of the pool.
Yeah.
And-
It's a long day.
And the restaurants. And
Beaches
the
and
fact that
cream.
it's on the boardwalk.
You got
And
beaches and
you
cream
did
right
not
there.
go to a park.
Yeah.
Well,
And
that's
last
it. You
week.
got access. You can. It's not that far to walk. You can walk over to Boardwalk without having to deal with the hustle and bustle of Boardwalk. You
And you
got
can
your
take
pool.
Boat over to Hollywood and walk back if you want, if you're
Yeah.
healthy enough.
of
You
all
could
the
boat
resorts
over
I-
there. You could walk over to Epcot.
Of all the
It's
resorts
not where I
I've
would
stayed
stay,
in,
but it's a good choice.
yeah, Beach Club is my favorite of all the Disney resorts that I've stayed in.
We like Boardwalk and Beach Club.
Yeah.
I think it really depends on which parks you want to visit the most. You can't go wrong as any kind of traveler, but even as a solo traveler at any of the deluxe resorts. I mean,
Mhm.
you're either on the
Yeah.
monorail loop and you've got easy access to either the Magic Kingdom or the other monorail resorts,
Mhm.
or you're at the Epcot resorts and you have easy access to Epcot and Hollywood Studios as well as the other resorts around Crescent Lake. And
you know what? One that's
Riviera
overlooked.
too.
One that's overlooked in the same area is the Yacht Club. The Yacht Club is a very peaceful resort.
And you can take your pets with you.
You could.
Now go figure. Yacht Club has a room starting at $485. Beach Club, it's $575. There's a $90 difference. Not looking to see
Popularity.
why?
Mm-hmm.
I think you're
Popularity.
right. Everyone thinks of the Beach Club with the pool, but it's the Yacht and Beach Club pool.
And the Beach Club, yeah, I don't know what it is. They do. They're connected to each other, but they have a different vibe. They draw different
Yes.
people. It seems
They do.
Beach
They do.
Club's a little bit closer to Epcot.
You know,
Correct.
Mhm.
And I
You know-
think the difference between Yacht Club and Beach Club, you find more children at Beach Club than you do Yacht
Well,
Club.
And Yacht Club has a conference center, so there's usually a
Mhm.
conference going on. So you've got more
It's
of that
gorgeous.
crowd there.
It is. It's beautiful.
Those are the best conference rooms, the ones at Yacht Club.
Mhm.
Best ones on property.
and I don't mean to say it this way, but I can't think of another way to put it. But if you're looking for a little snootier crowd and you're a solo traveler, the Grand Floridian.
You know, it was funny.
If elegance.
I was just
That's a good word.
watching. Someone rated all the of all of the resorts for the deluxe resorts. They actually rated the Grand Floridian as the one that they least likely wanted to stay in because he was Joe Normal, and Joe Normal to go to the Grand Floridian, you just don't feel comfortable there necessarily. I've gone there just to look at the gingerbread house and look around. And yeah, most people are like us. They're just going to walk and everything's fine. But you do get every once in a while that person that looks at you like, why are you here?
Yep.
And
Why are
it
you
surprised
That'd
me.
be great.
It really did surprise
Michelle
me.
and I didn't have a problem staying there.
Well, Kurt's not saying that. He's not saying you'd have a problem. But he's right. You do run into. There's always someone in that crowd that looks at you like, "Why are you here?"
Yeah. Unfortunately, there's some in the crowd there that it's if you have to ask, then you can't afford it. And I don't care if I want to, if I won $1 billion, I would still ask, I'm sorry, how much is this? I want to know before the bill comes up, and it's 6 times higher than I thought it was going to be for a pair
Have you
of
stayed at
boxers
Bay Lake
that
Tower?
cost $600. Yes, I have.
Yeah, isn't that your home resort?
Several times. No, my home resort is actually Saratoga. I've been there once. Bay Lake Tower, I've been there 5 times.
All right, John, pick a group we haven't mentioned for the deluxe resorts that you want to talk about.
Well, so let's pick a tough one. Let's pick a family of 5.
Yeah.
Oh.
Looks like
Yeah.
Well,
off property.
so there is an answer. I think there is an answer, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different places. It's Grand Floridian villas, Polynesian villas, Contemporary Bay Lake Tower, Boardwalk Beach Club, or Riviera. So if you've got a larger family, yeah,
I will warn you.
You can rent those rooms just like any other room.
I will allow.
Now, the Wilderness Lodge, a 1-bedroom, only sleeps 4. Okay, and then you go to Polynesian Village, and it's not even a 1-bedroom. It's just a
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have included Polynesian. I didn't say Wilderness Lodge, but
the bungalow will sleep 5 at the Polynesian, but it's a queen size bed. It's a fold down couch into a queen size bed and a trundle bed.
Yeah.
And that trundle bed, I call that my sister. That's my sister's bed, because you're either a little kid sleeping on it or you're 5'3". She loves that bed.
I don't include either of the bungalows because that's an exception. To be staying at the bungalows either at the Polynesian or the ones out on the water at the Wilderness Lodge. That's a very separate special occasion to be staying there.
Yeah, those are extremely expensive. Yeah. I wasn't talking about the bungalow. I was talking about the studio.
Well, no, I wasn't including Polynesian at all. I said that one by mistake.
Yeah, I think the point you were trying to make, and correct me if I'm wrong, was that if you've got a family of 5 or 6, you've got to rent DVC points from somebody.
Yeah.
If you want to stay on a deluxe.
Well, no, you have 2 choices. You can go to Disney and you can pay cash for the room, or you can rent Disney points from either through a broker or from a family or member or friend that you know that has DVC.
Yeah, I have friends that have a family of 5. The 2 older sisters, one's in college, one's a junior, senior in high school. I think she's a junior. They rent 2 rooms in a Contemporary. So the 2 girls are in one room, they're in the next room. Sometimes they're close together. Sometimes they're not as close as we wish they were, or they wish they were.
All right, Lottie, of the groups we haven't mentioned yet in the deluxe resort category, pick one. Pick one of the ones that are left. We did. John, you were talking about large families, so that's gone. Darlene, you did solo. Okay, so we've got family reunion, family gatherings, friends, or couples.
So if there's a couple of friends, again, another one that I've done because of Run Disney, Animal Kingdom Lodge is amazing. Yep. The food is great. The only downside for me at Animal Kingdom is the location. It's so far away from everything else, and you are stuck with the bus or your own transportation to get back and forth to the parks or Disney. But I love Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Yeah, you know what? I agree with you on that one. I think that's a good choice. All right, Kurt. So
I'm doing the couple.
Okay.
We're going to Wilderness Lodge. So that's my answer for a lot of these. The serenity of just sitting on the balcony and hearing the waterfall, looking out on the trees and the lake, is just beautiful. That is, again, we researched. I sat down at dinner tonight. My wife and I were talking about this, and the first word out of her mouth, the same exact thing: Wilderness Lodge. That is by far our favorite resort.
You know what? I don't disagree with you, but I would go back to my favorite resort. I've stayed at both. Beach Club. I just love the Beach Club. How about you, John? With couples trip, deluxe resort, not a DVC, but a deluxe resort.
Not, you're saying when not in a DVC part of the resort. So
Correct.
I mean that, because that excludes Riviera.
Mhm.
But I like any of them. I personally really like Polynesian I
Yeah.
would say for couples. The food, you can walk to the monorail. It's right there.
Correct.
You can technically walk through the Grand Floridian into the front of the Magic Kingdom, but I love the feeling just walking around the resort there, the common area, the dining, and the theming.
You know, I think for all
Best
the groups,
properties right there.
for all the groups that we're discussing tonight, I think when it comes to just a couple, I don't think it's a bad choice no matter where you go.
Mm-mm.
You know, I think you can find fault at some with the moderates and the value at some point for some person, but I don't think you can with the deluxe at all.
No,
Which
you
is
got the
why I
Tonga
like that
toast
well.
over there at the Polynesian too. So
That's my
I'll
favorite.
agree with you there.
Yeah. All right. What's left? Just like a family of four. I think we have family of four. Let's say a one parent with a child or two. Oh boy.
don't
I would
think
say the
you could go wrong.
contemporary because of Chef Mickey's. Now, if it's teenagers you're with, then I would change it. But if it's young children, I would say the contemporary. If it's teenagers, boy, it doesn't matter.
I just don't think you could go wrong with if you
Right.
got four. You just can't go wrong with any of the deluxe resorts with as
Yeah.
long as you've got 4 people or less.
Yep. You know what? I would say for a family of 4, yeah, Animal Kingdom Lodge. That would be a great choice too.
I don't know, because Lake Lottie already said it's so far away from
Well, that's
everything.
the downside. Yeah, if you're just talking about staying someplace, yeah. But if transportation's an issue, then I'd go back to the contemporary.
So
Well,
so what at least I would prefer with a family of 4 being on the monorail like that, just like when you're at the Yacht Beach or Boardwalk where you got walking distance to Epcot or Disney Hollywood Studios. You're at the monorail loop. You've got access. You could either take the monorail or walk in the contemporary case straight to the Magic Kingdom.
Yep.
And you can hop the monorail. The first stop off the monorail is Ticket and Transportation. Hop on the second monorail, take that all the way over to Epcot.
Yeah.
So access to two places right there.
Now I want to circle back to the value and model resorts just for a second because we didn't bring this up before. But you have a family of 4, 2 teenagers. I think with the value resorts, the answer is simple: don't do it. No matter what, don't do it. But in the moderate resorts, 2 teenagers with 2 parents or a parent.
Caribbean Beach.
Yeah. Yeah.
Access to everything. The
Yep.
Skyways get you anywhere. Well,
And-
I'm sorry. The Skyways get you to Disney Hollywood Studios or Epcot. And then you could even hop the Epcot, go to the ticket transportation over to the Magic Kingdom if you're park hopping throughout the day with teenagers who have that kind of energy.
Yeah, I agree. Your favorite deluxe resort. I've already given mine, so we'll go around. Kurt.
Are we going to do DVC also, or are we just
We'll bring it up as soon as we get. This will be the last of that part. We'll
my favorite resort outright still is the Wilderness Lodge. For a deluxe resort, I just really enjoy. It's a boat ride away from the Magic Kingdom. It's a boat ride away from the Contemporary, where you could hop on the monorail and take somewhere if you want.
All right, John.
It's so hard to pick one.
It is, but you have to.
I know, but I would say Polynesian.
Okay, good choice. Darlene?
I'm gonna go with the boardwalk. I have never stayed at the Polynesian yet, but I do. I like that I can go to the Boardwalk Bakery. I like that they have the new cafe in there. I can go to Beaches and Cream, Cape May Cafe, and to see what else they're building over there.
They have a
Alan
pretty good
Cuphead,
corn dog shop there too.
Margarita Joe's.
All right, Lottie.
This is so unfair.
Life's not fair.
Yes, it is.
So my bucket list stay is the Polynesian. I've not been there yet. But if I had to
It's a
pick
nice
one
resort.
the Contemporary has been my favorite for a long time. California Grill, see the fireworks from the rooftop, monorail ride, or you can walk right over to Magic
Closest walk
Kingdom.
to the Magic Kingdom. Yep.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what resort has my favorite gift shops? Polynesian.
Contemporary?
No,
Oh, Polynesian.
Yeah.
Right.
Polynesian. Oh,
They've got really good
I
stuff.
like that they're
Yeah.
big.
And they're unique to the rest of the parks
Right.
and
Right.
resorts.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're gonna wind this down, but let's talk about DVC for a moment. I'm not a DVC member, so I'm gonna keep out of this.
Favorite DVC resort? So you got to be careful because if you're going with a family of 5, if you only want to get a 1-bedroom, you're not staying at the Wilderness. You're not staying at the Beach Club. You're not staying at the Boardwalk because they only sleep 4. So, favorite resort outright that's DVC though, outside of Wilderness Lodge, would be Bay Lake Tower. It's by far my favorite resort. That's anywhere near that area. It's closer than the Contemporary. And you can get a standard room if you do it the right way and actually still watch the fireworks from your relative.
All right. Anybody want to add anything to the DVCs?
I'm
I
looking at the
really
list.
like the Riviera. It's not easy to
Mhm.
get a room there sometimes,
Mm-mm.
but I really like the look and the feel of it and the amenities there. Topolina's Terrace is fabulous, and you're connected to the Skyliner, so it's not right
Yeah.
at the Magic Kingdom or right at Epcot, but it's unique and it's also got a great quick service restaurant in Primo Piatto.
Mm.
Yeah, every time we've tried to get in there, we couldn't get in. Darlene?
I've never stayed there. My friend has, and she's an original DVC member, and she's not as fond of it as some people are. She still likes the Beach Club, and she's stayed at the Grand, but she still prefers the Beach Club. Me myself, Bay Lake Tower, we thought was too modern, and we prefer. I want to stay at the Polynesian. The Grand Floridian was beautiful, but I still like the boardwalk area with the Beach Club or the boardwalk.
Buddy, are you a
Now you-
DVC member? You're not
Nope.
a DVC. Neither am I. So thank God I'm not alone in this on this
If
show.
if you're looking for a large group though, we always wanted to stay in the tree houses.
I'm going to have
So-
the chance to do that. I'm not literally staying, but I'm going to visit. I was asked to stay, but I can't. So
If you want, other large space, the biggest square footage is going to be over at Old Key West, the original. That is the
Yes.
original.
I've
Disney
stayed there as
Vacation
well.
Club.
But you have to watch out with that resort because that resort is huge.
No,
It's
you need
first
to preserve.
one,
You have to be preferred area.
and you want to be in the preferred area because if you're all the way in the back and you want coffee first thing in the morning and there's
gotta
no
make it.
buses, it's a 20-minute walk.
Ooh. Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we stayed there during COVID, Luckily, we were only about a half-mile walk away because we hadn't gotten into the preferred area for that one.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna wrap this up. I just want to, you've heard our opinions on things, and it's very subjective to your likes and dislikes of certain things. What I would suggest is you look at the Disney website first to see what the prices are, what you can afford. What's the most important to you? Is it budget? Is it food? Is it proximity to the parks? What are your likes and dislikes? There's a whole bunch of things that you've got to answer to yourself before you can start narrowing it down as to where you want to stay. If anybody else wants to add anything else before we vamos from here.
You can actually trust the website as well. We've stayed at resorts where you look at the photos and you're like, wow, this looks so good. The photos were taken about 15 years ago and they haven't done upgrades. They actually do the upgrades at the Disney resort, so they look like the pictures show. So check Travelocity or somewhere like that, maybe even. Or talk to Mouse Fan Travel. They can help you with it too.
Yep. And on that note, we're done. I hope everybody has a great rest of the week. Be safe. Be yourself. Bye-bye.
Good night, everybody.
See you real soon.
And we talked earlier tonight about Port Orleans French Quarter being romantic and quaint. And so if you go and yourself to try it out, and if you look up in the sky and you see a star shining brightly above you, maybe some fireflies, stop and listen carefully, and you just might hear, look how she lights up the sky, ma belle Evangeline. Thanks for taking the tour with us. We hope you tune in with us next time.
Have a magical night. Stay safe and pack your sunscreen because it was beautiful out today, along with, of course, a nice raincoat for those daily showers.